Okay, Jason, I think we can start now. I think everybody's in.
Okay. Can we do the housekeeping reminders, please?
Welcome committee members, liaisons, and members of the public to the Legal Services Trust Fund Commission Grant Eligibility and Support Committee. Thank you for joining us. We are using Zoom with the goal to foster a more inclusive environment and effective meetings. If you would like to comment during the meeting, please use the raise hand feature. Please utilize this tool to virtually indicate that you would like to speak in order to help the chair facilitate the discussion. A friendly reminder that this is a video conference. Per Bagley Keene requirements, all cameras must be kept on for the duration of the meeting. If you are unable to have your camera on, you must indicate a reason for your non-appearance during the meeting. Please be aware of your surroundings behind you. All committee meetings will be recorded and posted to the State Bar website. Zoom captioning is available. To enable, select live transcript at the bottom of your Zoom screen, then select Enable Auto Transcription. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Can we go ahead and do roll call?
Yes. Gonzalez?
Here.
King?
Here.
Klein?
Here.
Milrod? Oh, I couldn't hear you, Patience. Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute. I think I need to be able to hear you. Say.
There we go. I am present.
Thank you. Pryor?
Here.
Stalker?
Here.
And Galkin.
Here.
All right, everybody is in attendance.
Okay, so public comment, we can do call for public comment. If there is anyone, just a note about public comment. Obviously, the scope of our grant eligibility subcommittee is limited. And so if you are here for public comment, I would kindly ask and respect that you keep things limited to the scope of our agenda or our committee charge. And with that, setting public comment for 3 minutes per person. If we have anyone, I would open it up for public comment. I don't know if Heidi or Shannon, you can tell me if there's anyone waiting.
There's no one with their hands raised.
I'm sorry to interject. I just want to acknowledge that Justice Rodriguez is here.
Hello.
I apologize. I didn't look far enough down the screen with my list, so I do apologize.
Quite all right. No problem.
Thank you.
Okay, so if there are no public comments, we can move right along to the chair's report. I will pull that up really quick. So we have our meeting right now. I think the biggest thing I want to focus on, and this is going to in some ways dovetail, I think, into Heidi's comment as on the staff report, but it will be jumping to a later part of that. We are going to be doing eligibility review conferences with for applications that have eligibility concerns. And I want to highlight this because as part of our role on GES, and as each of you who are on GES have, I think, a responsibility, I've asked Heidi and Juan to help us in finding time for that works for everyone to participate in some form or fashion. It's like a round robin approach so that everyone will volunteer. We're not going to relegate any individual GES committee member to doing all of them or most of them. There is a bit of work that goes into it, but this way that work gets spread around evenly. So I do want to highlight that as part of my oral report, and we can talk about that a little bit more when Heidi's giving her update about what that all entails and kind of the ERCs generally. So I wanted to put that out there. Trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to highlight, especially in the report. Heidi, is there anything that you think that I need to comment on that we've talked about? I'm trying to think, I'm looking at my notes and seeing a lot that we covered at the last at the exec meeting. So,
Yeah, I don't think so at this point. I think you're good.
okay, thank you. I'll kick it over to you then for the staff report.
All right. Hi, everybody. Just to dovetail on what Jason was mentioning, we will be conducting ERC meetings, which are eligibility and review conference working groups where we meet with any of the applicants where there are eligibility issues that need to be, a closer look needs to be taken. We do have a bunch of new applicants who have started applications, so those may be part of the ERCs, and then any other organizations that where eligibility issues are defined. And so we will be needing to schedule those between June 11th and July 11th. And so I will be reaching out to you because we do need one commissioner on, we need one commissioner and at most two commissioners at each ERC meeting. So more to come on that offline. All right, so in terms of other updates, I just wanted to give everybody an update that we have started our 2025 monitoring visits. This year, we will be conducting 42 monitoring visits, of which 5 are new grantees, and this is their first year of funding. And I just wanted to extend an invitation to all of the commissioners that you are welcomed and encouraged to join on a monitoring visit, should you choose to. They, with the exception of the new organizations, they are all conducted via Zoom, so you can easily pop in and out. And so those, you can access those on Smart Simple, or if you have additional questions about them, feel free to reach out to me so that if you want to participate in those, you can. I wanted to give an update on the status of the EAF additional emergency funding. In February, the funding was approved for an additional $10 million for EAF funding to go out to legal service providers to provide emergency legal support to people who may be impacted by changes that the administration has made related to, immigration, their safety, et cetera. So that we've issued the all the grantees have opted in already. We have gone through their budgeting process. We have finally got a contract executed with the Judicial Council, and then we will be distributing funds as soon as we receive them, which is anticipated in June sometime. So that funding is going out quite quickly. And then, yeah, Dwan.
Yeah, let me just add, we actually had anticipated a shorter timeline for it to go out to programs because there's a great need right now, as you all know, and some of our programs are really struggling, not across the board for cash flow issues, but some of them have serious cash flow issues. So we didn't anticipate this delay in the contract from the Judicial Council, and there's also a delay at the State Controller's Office. So what we have done to kind of be responsive to this is we reached out to the grantees and asked if anybody was having cash flow issues or having concerns, and then we moved up their IOLTA payments for them. So we've done that for for our IOLTA 2 quarterly payment and our IOLTA 3 for some grantees. So again, not all of them opted in because some organizations have a sizable reserve, but some of our smaller organizations are really, really struggling not having these funds. So we understand the urgency, we understand the impact, and we are just kind of doing the best that we can. Luckily, that, like Heidi said, that contract is now in, and it's literally, we're just waiting now for the funds to be released from the State Controller's Office.
Angie. Oh, you're on mute.
I forgot to unmute, sorry. What's Smart Simple?
Oh, that's our grant management system, which I believe all the commissioners have access to, and you can see the grants that are approved. But I'd be happy to walk through, get you a monitoring list if that's easier.
Okay, sure, thank you.
Sure. Okay. All right. Then the next issue is I've reached out to each of you individually to schedule a new, we need to schedule an additional date in June to conduct some committee business. The date, I'll be sending out a formal notification that seems to work for most people, is June 24th at 3 p.m. So we can go ahead and calendar those. This this meeting is needed because we are in the process of issuing the RFP for the Care Court 2025-2026 funding. It is still pending approval in the budget. We expect the budget to be, or the May revised budget to come out middle of May, at which point we will release the RFP. The final budget numbers will be not known until the governor signs the actual budget in June. However, the Care Court grants require have a start date of July 1st. So we need to sort of be simultaneously issuing the RFP, reviewing RFPs, and making funding determinations while still pending the final amount. So we need to be able to approve the RFP, the eligibility applications before July 1 so that we can get those grants started. And so that's the reason for that additional meeting. Dawn, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I'll just add, we've been in regular contact with the Department of Finance. That's an arm of the governor's office. So they've asked us to actually hold off until the May revise. But by the time the governor signs it, we're pretty much assured that money is going to happen. So there's like very low risk that money is going to be decreased at that point. But we do want to wait until at least the May revise in order to issue it. So yes, we won't have the governor's signature on it, but we will proceed. And then there's language in our grant agreements that, in the event that the money doesn't come through, then we'll have to adjust grant awards. But it's very, very highly unlikely at that point. We should have some assurance from DOF that's going to happen.
Right, and grant agreements won't be issued until it's finalized or formalized. So that's that as well. All right, that is all of my staff reports that I have to give. So I'll turn it back to Jason.
All right. I think now we can go to minutes. So we had a meeting on January 27th, 2025, open session minutes. I believe those were in the agenda. I hope that you all have had an opportunity to review them. And assuming you have, I would welcome a motion to approve those minutes, or if there are any comments or adjustments that are needed, to let us know.
So moved.
I'll second.
All right, can we do a roll call?
Yes. Gonzalez,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Milrod,
Yes.
Pryor,
Yes.
Stackler. I'm saying your name wrong. Will you say your name for me so I can get it right?
Stalker.
Stalker, thank you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Galkin.
Yes.
All right, that's 7 yeses, no nos. Motion passes.
Wonderful. Moving on to agenda item, business items 4.1, approval of audit extension requests. Angela, it's good to see you. I see you listed as the person presenting. So if that's still true, take it away.
Excellent. That is true. Great to see you as well. One moment, please. Can everyone see my screen just how they're supposed to?
You are sharing your personal presenter screen.
Blast. One moment. Let's see if, did that work?
There you go.
That's the one. There you go.
There you go. Okay, excellent. So I have the opportunity to present about the 2026 audit extension requests. One moment. So audits, as you know, are required as part of the IALTA EAF application review process. They're necessary to confirm an organization's qualified expenditures for purposes of determining eligibility, but also ultimately to determine the amount of any formula grant award. According to the schedule of charges and deadlines, the audit or financial review is due no later than May 1st. Staff has discretion to grant extension through application deadline, which is May 15 this year. Beyond the application date, the Legal Services Trust Fund Commission can grant an extension to submit the audit or reviewed financial statement upon a showing of extraordinary circumstances. And if none are present, the commission may grant such extensions with conditions. So that is where we're at. Staff agreed to all extensions requested through May 15th, but there were 3 organizations that requested extensions beyond May 15th. These orgs were instructed to submit a written explanation of the delay along with the date. They anticipate the final audit will be ready and details of the steps they are going to take to submit a timely audit in the future. The 3 letters that were submitted from the 3 organizations that requesting the extension, they were included as attachment A. So I imagine you've had a moment to read them, but we have them summarized here. So the 3 requests are from Child Care Law Center, LACBA's Council for Justice, and Public Law Center. So the reason for delay for Child Care Law Center is staff changes, an office relocation, and some transition in executive leadership that really impacted their financial review process. Their anticipated date of submission is May 31st, 2025. LACBA cited they're separating from LACBA Council for Justice is separating from LACBA, and this was their first time doing an independent audit. So that was causing some delay, and there was some additional delay in receiving LACBA's financial information, and they requested a June 15th, 2025 as their anticipated date of submission. And then the final one, Public Law Center, they were in their original request, they had noted May 30th as the anticipated date of submission due to some leadership transitions that were impacting their financial procedures. But since then, on May 5th, we received an additional request to push that to June 15th. They're having some unexpected medical issues by some key staff members. So those were the 3 requests that we received. The takeaway from staff is that they all seem to constitute extraordinary circumstances. And so we have before you now, one moment, hold on, almost before you, we have a proposed resolution. And that would be that should the Legal Services Trust Fund Commission grant eligibility and support committee concur, it is resolved that the GES committee would recommend that the LSTFC approve the audit extension requests through the dates requested as reflected in the presentation, and in any event, no later than June 15th. And now I will open it up to any questions or concerns from, yes. Oops, I'm sorry. Did I accidentally end the slideshow?
You did.
Oops. That is not...
You can probably just stick it there anyway in case there are proposed edits to the motion.
Okay, so folks can all see, right?
Yep.
Okay, excellent.
So I just want to say, I noticed that each of the original requests came in well in advance of the deadline. All the reasons seem very solid. I'm prepared to move adoption of the resolution when it's time.
Thank you, Patience. Anyone have any questions, comments, or discussion? And if not, I'll bring Patience motion to the floor for a second.
I'll second it.
All right. I think we can go ahead and do a roll call vote then.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Milrod,
Yes.
Pryor,
Yes.
Stalker,
Yes.
Galkin.
Yes.
That's 7 yes, 0 no's, and the motion passes.
Wonderful.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Angie.
My pleasure.
All right, moving on to item 4.2, approval of late budget modification and carryover requests. I think we have Esteban here to present that.
Yes, correct. Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to present agenda item 4.2, the approval of late budget modifications and carryover requests. This presentation is very straightforward. So I'm going to just provide the background, explain each of the requests, and see if there's any questions, and present before you the proposed resolution at the end. So a little bit about the background. We received only 2 requests for budget modifications and 1 request for a carryover for grants that ended on December 31st, 2024. The final deadline to submit this request was November 27, 2024. This deadline was posted on the administrative calendar in Smart Simple, and a reminder email was sent to all grantees on November 8, 2024. So moving forward to the submissions, the budget modifications, as I mentioned, we had two. Youth Law Center, YLC submitted a first budget modification on time for the IOLTA 2024 grant, which was approved by staff in January. After the deadline, they submitted a second budget modification, and this is the request where we are bringing forward for approval today. The second budget modification totals $67,660, representing 9.95% of the total grant award. Normally, a movement of this size, meaning 9.95%, would not require committee approval if it's submitted on time, but because this one is not, then that's why we're bringing it for approval. This modification reflects a reduction in personal expenses and an increase in non-personal expenses, specifically to fund contract services to clients. YLC explained that the adjustment was necessary to address staffing gaps and strengthen external affairs, communications, and outreach through contract support in alignment with their project needs. Additionally, the budget modification results in a personnel allocation ratio of 67.6%, which is below the 75% recommended target, but this is consistent with past commission approvals when contract services to clients are involved. Staff then recommends the committee to approve YLC's late budget modification and will provide technical assistance to help the grantee to prevent future late submissions. The second budget modification we got was from Senior Advocacy Network. SAN submitted a budget modification of $12,273, which is 22.13% of the total 2024 EIF grant. They reported that a recent change in executive leadership led to for them to miss the deadline. SAN has since implemented corrective measures to ensure timely compliance moving forward. Their budget modification involves only minor adjustments to line items. Although the percentage appears high, it is because the grant itself is relatively small, so any minor change will show as a big percentage change. Having said that, staff recommends approval of this late budget modification based on the corrective actions taken by Senior Advocacy Network. And finally, the only carryover we got, which is from Bethesda Legal Services. Bethesda submitted a late partnership grant carryover request for their Descendant State Self-Help Clinic project. They requested to carry over $30,396, representing 19% of the total grant award. The unspent funds were due to the reassignment of 2 staff members to other projects, leading to fewer personal costs being charged to the partnership grant. Staffing shortages and vacancies in their grant and finance departments delayed their ability to identify and submit the discrepancy in time. But SETIC has provided State Bar staff a clear plan for how they will use the carryover funds and have taken corrective steps to ensure timely submissions in the future. Therefore, staff recommends approving SETIC's late carryover submission as well. And well, those were all the submissions received in the first quarter of the year. I'm happy to answer any questions. If not, I will just move to the proposed resolution, which I can screen share for reference. Are there any questions? All right, I'm gonna share my screen just to the resolution. All right. I hope everyone can see it. The proposed resolution we're bringing before you. Should the Legal Services Trust Fund Commission, Grant Eligibility and Support Committee, or GES Committee concur, it is resolved that the GES Committee approve the late submitted budget modification and carryover request for 2024 grants as outlined in the memo we provided. Yes. There's a question.
Yes, are we voting for 2 different proposed resolutions for the carryover, or is
No,
it one?
It's just one that includes both both budget modifications and one carryover.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's because all of them are late, so that's why they're all condensed in this proposed resolution.
Yeah, to the extent you or really any of our other members have concerns and wanted to break them out, I mean, that would be something we could discuss. So don't feel like it's all or nothing. But I think if we are going to support the approval of all of them, it makes sense to do it in a combined motion.
Got it. No concerns.
And there is a question from Lorraine.
Hi, I just wanted to add that LAC has been in touch with each of these programs and we support the staff recommendation to approve.
Thank you for that. All right, well, I would go ahead and invite a motion to approve the proposed resolution.
I
I
will
move to
move.
propose resolution.
I will second.
All right, that's Ms. Pryor, Ms. Gonzalez, and we'll do a roll call vote.
Okay, Gonzalez,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Milrod,
Yes.
Pryor,
Yes.
Stalker,
Yes.
Galkin.
Yes.
That's 7 yeses, no nos. Motion passes.
All right, well, I think that's the last action item we have, and at least I have on my agenda. Heidi, can you confirm for me we're good on everything? Is there anything else we need discussion-wise?
Those were all the business items, so short and sweet today. So I don't think there is any more discussion necessary.
Wonderful. Well, everyone, I guess that we can call it a wrap, and we'll adjourn the meeting a bit early. Thank you all for your participation and swift resolution of all the action items. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thanks.